Hey, I'm Danny Griffin, founder of freethinkingtools.com, with this week's special Monday motivation, which will be dedicated to all the fallen at the Boston Marathon. So why Boston? Is it because of its rich history with respect to things like the Revolutionary War and its role in the foundation of the United States of America? A place where the Pilgrims sought out all these new freedoms and these great opportunities. A safe harbor for millions of immigrants who came ashore in search of a brand new life. Well, for me, it's all I know from the very beginning. I was born here. I grew up here. I've ridden its T system more times than I could fathom, maybe even more than that guy Charlie from the old song. I've been a Bruins fan, a Celtics fan, a Patriots fan, and of course a Red Sox fan since I can remember. When you've done something for so long, or been a part of something special forever, you might even take it for granted. You might just forget how special a place can be. That is, of course, until somebody challenges it. When somebody comes to play and decides to make some noise. Now, for me, this week was that big disruption. On one of our most important event days, marathon days, a couple of disenfranchised kids with an agenda threw a nasty tantrum. Now, to put in perspective what this really means to me, I'll have to backtrack historically and walk a fine line with respect to stereotyping and racism. Now, as a Bostonian, I know exactly what it all means and feels like. This city has always had its doors wide open, along with our good friends from New York, for all of those seeking a brand new way as they came ashore. Already rich in Native American history, Boston welcomed the Pilgrims first. They became affectionately known as all the WASPs, those Anglo-Saxon Protestants, right? They grew roots for a long time. Now, in my neighborhood, we were Irish and Italian. Sure, they started to mix, but they liked their distinctions and made it clear to each other. I'll never forget when the Greeks started to move into the neighborhood. You might have thought it was absolutely the end of the world. On top of that, I won't even bother going down the path of black versus white, because that gets ugly fast. Just take it from a kid who grew up during forced busing, also known as forced integration. Suffice to say, in Boston, you don't force anybody to do anything without a fight. Remember that little incident over some taxes and teas? We actually called that a party. As time has gone on, the gates have opened wider with immigrants from places like Brazil and Russia. Not that we weren't always greeting people from around the world, but that's what I grew up with. So, if you had to fight your way into something good, like all of these people, you'd become attached to it too. You'd get really mad if someone took a shot at you, let alone kill somebody. A little boy, a beautiful, happy girl, and one of our college visitors enjoying one of our unique educational opportunities. A young police officer on duty. All because a couple of guys decided that somehow the world was so upside down that they'd come to Boston and fix it with a couple of pressure cookers. Now, it took Boston only 4 days to hunt these guys down. Even though the whole event is tragic, it's also galvanizing. This city has once again risen to let the world know why it's so special. Because it cares, it loves the underdog, and it hates the bully. As a Bostonian, I ask you to try not to make sense of all this irrational behavior of zealots, because you can't. They've been here forever. They won't stop coming. You can't fix them all. You can't find them all. You won't even see them all coming. However, rest assured that this place is resilient. All they did was wake it up. They brought its people together who will never forget the fallen. Their lives will be celebrated and adhere to the nucleus of what makes Boston that special place. They're the fabric now of who we are and who we will be. This week, you're all Bostonians. In all of you is that strength. I pray that you find it no matter what you run up against in this new world we live in. So remember, always be Boston strong. Hey, I'm Danny Griffin with this week's Monday Motivation, asking you, please spread this around. Hopefully we can begin the healing here and strengthen that galvanized nucleus that is my city, Boston. We are there for all of you, and you have been there for all of us, and we appreciate that. This one hit very close to home, and all it did was wake us up. So not the right place to come picking a fight. We are there for our people, whether they're our visitors or whether they've been here all along. So this week, please do me a favor. If you have any thoughts, you have any concerns, leave them here. Know that me, my family, my friends, we all made it out okay, but not friends and family that we know in a distance. So think of all those families, pray for them, and let's let the healing begin here, right? Let's not focus on what went wrong. Let's focus on what can go right in the future. I'm Danny Griffin. Thanks for tuning in.